All right, I'm going to turn it over to Luanne.
Okay. All right, I gotta put this down. Let me put it down here. Hi, everyone. Okay, don't step on it. Okay, I'm the second from the last person up there. My name is Luanne Laemmerman, and I'm an assistant prosecutor with the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office. So here's my little display here. So does everybody know what the prosecutor's office does? Hopefully you don't know this firsthand, and hopefully you're not hanging around with other people that know this firsthand. I don't want to see any of you in our offices, okay? So what we do in the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office is we prosecute crimes. So I'm not sure if all of you know, but there are environmental crimes, which means that you can go to jail, you can go to prison for committing environmental crimes. So it's just like any other crime. Murder, obviously that's a crime. Retail fraud, that's a crime. So is polluting our lakes and streams. What is that? Okay. So some people don't know that specifically I prosecute all the environmental crimes for Macomb County. And it's really special here in Macomb County. We're the only county prosecutor's office that has a special environmental unit that specifically does environmental crimes. So I'm a lawyer. Some people also don't know that an assistant prosecutor is a lawyer. So I went to law school, and I personally have a long background in environmental sciences. So this job was really great for me because not only do I get to be a lawyer, I get to do what I'm passionate about, and that is, making the bad guys pay for environmental crimes. So it's really important, and it's very special here in Macomb County because there's no other county prosecutor's office that has a special unit like this. And it is really important because I get to do stuff like this and teach people, but I also get to make sure that the people who do environmental crimes in this county make sure they pay for it. So that's what I wanted to tell you about that. We talked about people putting things down a storm drain. Well, that's a crime. It may not seem like it may not seem like a big deal, but if you put chemicals down a storm drain, like we've heard from the two previous presenters, that all goes into Lake St. Clair or some other kind of lake or stream around here. So, well, lake ultimately in Lake St. Clair, but it can get into the Clinton River, and that flows into Lake St. Clair. So everything that goes down a storm drain affects the quality of our lake. So it's really up to each and every one of us to protect it. So what you can do is if you see someone polluting or putting things down the storm drain, tell your parents, have them call the police. You can actually call the police and report these people. It's really important. May not seem like a big deal, but it really is. Actually, there are two types of crimes. I'm not sure if you know this. There's misdemeanors. That's where you can go to jail for up to a year, but there's also felonies for environmental crimes, where you say it fast in front of all of you, where you can go to prison where you're actually in prison for a year or more. So they're very serious consequences. So I'll go back to our little prop here. So I've actually prosecuted people in this county for putting things down the storm drain. And again, a storm drain is what you normally see on the street, and that all goes into the lake. A sanitary sewer has a solid cover on it, so you know the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference, and it's very surprising that they don't. So I actually had a case where, this was last summer, or 2 summers ago, where anybody use an RV? Your families, do you go vacation on an RV? No? No one uses RVs? Anybody know what Blackwater is? You can probably figure it out, huh? So there's certain waste. When you're on an RV, they have toilets, right? Well, Blackwater, you can probably figure out what that is. That's your toilet waste. And there are special facilities for people who with RVs to dispose of that waste. Actually, right when you leave a park, usually there's an area that you can dispose of that waste for free or for maybe like $5 or something. Well, we had a gentleman here in Macomb County who decided that he didn't want to go through the trouble of doing that. So he hooked up a tube or a pipe from his toilet in his RV, and it went down, he drained it, it went down his driveway and into the storm drain. And a neighbor, so this is where you guys can make a big difference. A neighbor was coming into their neighborhood, smelled this awful smell, which you can just imagine, went right home, called the police responded, took pictures, got witness statements, and I ultimately prosecuted the person for a felony. Because to put a pollutant down the drain like that, and sewage is a pollutant under our state laws, I was able to penalize him for that. Now, a lot of times when things go down a storm drain, it goes right out, it can go right out into the lake. So sometimes you can't clean it up, which is really unfortunate, which is why we're stressing prevention in the first place. But when it does happen, my job is to make sure that the people that do it get penalized for it. So this particular gentleman, he ended up pleading guilty to a lesser charge, but he paid a lot of money. So he didn't go to jail. He was actually, I think he went to jail for another reason. So, but he paid a lot of money, and it's just not worth it. So, and even if it just keeps people from doing it again, then I consider it a success story. So, and since we're talking about the lake, the Marine Division in Macomb County, we're also really lucky here in Macomb County. We have a Marine Division through the Sheriff's Department, and their job, you see them out in their boats on the lake, their job is to catch people, you know, committing crimes on the lake. So if you're in a boat and you see people like dumping a chemical or oil out on the lake, that's also a crime, which my office, me, will prosecute, and we're really, really serious about this. So what you can do is be the eyes and ears for the county and report people. So, and education is key, absolutely, and I hope that each and every one of you share what you learned, or if you see someone doing something, you're like, hey, you know, you can get in big trouble for that, warn them, call the police if you have to. I'm not shy about this, really. If that's what it's going to take to clean up our lakes and streams, then that's what I want to do. I'm forgetting something. I had another case where it was out on Lake St. Clair where a fisherman happened to be out on the lake early one day, and he saw this big sheen in the water. And if you don't know, oil or gasoline on water, you know what that looks like. You can see the kind of sheen, and it also smells too. So this particular fisherman called the Marine Division of the Sheriff's Department. We went out there, and I was able to prosecute him too. So, and he again paid a big fine. So we're making progress, but it really takes each and every one of you to be the lookout for it. I'm forgetting something. What did I say last time that I'm forgetting? Oh, like I said, I'm a lawyer. So if any, because one of the things we wanted to do is just give you an idea of how many different professions have to do with the lake, affect the lake, can impact the lake in a positive way, and one of them is mine. So when you think of a lawyer, you probably don't think of an environmental lawyer, because there's not a lot of us out there, and you probably even rarely think about an environmental prosecutor. So that's one thing that you could do if anyone's thinking about it, or some kind of other environmental profession. There's a lot of different things you can do that will make a really big difference. So again, we want to welcome you and invite you to participate in the Nautical Coast Cleanup. This is a big thing that you can do. One of the things I found that in the profession I chose is it feels a lot better, it's a lot more satisfying to be part of the solution than it is to be part of the problem or to do nothing at all. So I really encourage you to get involved and just see what you like, do something to benefit your communities. It really is satisfying. So with that, I will turn it over to Sarah Roberts. She is our state representative, newly elected. She's going to talk about that.
Well, thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. I'm the state representative. I represent all of Harrison Township and St. Clair Shores and this little portion of Grosse Pointe Shores on the southern end. How many of you know what a state representative does? Okay, so I represent at the state level, but what do I do? I mean, what's involved with that? Raise your hand. What was that? Pass laws. Yep, exactly. Any law in the state of Michigan really comes from an idea. And it's about taking that idea, writing it down, developing it, talking with individuals, and then putting it before a committee, and then the Michigan House of Representatives, and then the Michigan Senate, and then the governor makes a decision of whether she wants to sign it into a law or not.